everyone, this is Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make these scrub off dish scrubbies. Now they look like regular old scrubbies, but what makes them really wonderful to use and different is they have a strap on the back. So when you're scrubbing really hard on those dishes, you're not having to grip that scrubby. Now this one is the original one that I made a few years ago, and I forgot that I had this pattern. And so I wanted to share it with you, but I also wanted to show you some other options that you can do with this pattern as far as yarns. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. This is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make your scrub off kitchen scrubbies, you can use just regular cotton like this one is, or you can use the Peaches and Cream scrub off yarn, and it has cotton portions and scrubby portions worked into it. This one was made with the scrubby portion in the center and then worked out with the cotton. And it gives you lots of good scrubby power in the center of your kitchen scrubby. This one I just started with however the yarn started. This one is more of a teal. This one has more greens in it. And it has cotton in the center, but it has a nice scrubby edge. And I think that's perfect for scrubbing those pots and pans. So it's kind of up to you how you want to do that. For today's demonstration, I'm going to just be using this yellow yarn, and we're going to make one exactly like these. I'm just going to do it in cotton so you can see how to do it. It has these front post stitches that gives it a little bit of extra scrubby, and it's difficult to see in the variegated yarn, so I'm just going to use the solid yellow. You only need about an ounce. It doesn't take very much, so you can use your scrap yarns and make some useful scrubbies. We're going to be using an eye hook today, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle to weave those ends in, and you'll need your scissors. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with our slip knot and chain 5. We're going to join this into a circle, so we'll put the tail of yarn over our hook and pull it through that loop, and then we'll go ahead and snug that down. And then we'll add that little stay knot so our loop stays into a circle. We'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. Now for this first row, we want a total of 12 double crochets. My chain 3 counts as our first, and so I'm going to do 11 more. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through the second 2 loops. All right, so there's 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I'm going to count to make sure I didn't add too many. My chain 3 counts as my first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to join to the top of our chain 3 with a slip stitch, and then we'll go ahead and chain 3. Now you'll notice you might have a hole in the center. We're going to turn this over, and when you stitched your double crochets, if you stitched over your tail of yarn, all you have to do is give that a gentle pull. We'll go ahead and grab our needle and weave that in, and it'll be all taken care of, and we won't have to do that later. There we go. Because nobody wants a hole in the center of their scrubby. All right, I'm going to give her a little pull. Make sure it's nice and snug. Then we'll just go back the way we came. And repeat. So now my hole is closed. There we go. And I have 12 double crochets joined to my chain 3 and chain 3. For row 2, we're going to be alternating double crochets and front post double crochets. Our chain 3 starts as our first double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over. We're going to go around that first chain 3 from our previous row, around the post, and stitch a double crochet. It's all double crochets. We're just putting it in different places. All right, so we'll go to the next stitch and stitch a double crochet, and then we'll yarn over and stitch a front post double crochet around that same stitch. And so we're alternating regular double crochets and front post double crochets. And when you're working with cotton, it can be a little bit snug. Plus we have 12 original double crochets, so it is going to be a little bit snug. And that's okay because it is a scrubby. And have lots of scrubby power. So double crochet in the double crochet, and then double crochet around the front post of that double crochet. Double crochet, then double crochet around that post of that same double crochet. Double crochet, front post, double crochet, front post. We started with 12, and so for row 2 we'll end up with 24 stitches, 12 front posts and 12 double crochets. I've completed this row stitching a double crochet, front post, alternating all the way around, and I have 24 stitches, 12 double crochets, 12 front post double crochets. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. What we're going to do now is we're going to place a second double crochet in that double crochet, and then we'll front post double crochet around that front post double crochet. Whoops. There we go. Slipped right off my hook. All right, so then this brings us to our next regular double crochet. We'll stitch 2 double crochets in that double crochet right at the top where we normally stitch. Then we'll stitch around that next front post double crochet. And this is how row 3 will work. 2 double crochets in the double crochet, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet in the front post double crochet. 2 double crochets in the double crochet, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet or front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. And that really makes those front post stitches really stand out. And those are what gives us our scrubby power if you're just using a regular cotton like this one. All right, so we'll continue around stitching 2 double crochets in the regular double crochet and a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. And we'll continue this all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I've completed row 3. We have 2 double crochets, 1 front post double crochet, and repeat. And so you're going to have 24 regular double crochets and 12 of your front post double crochets, so you have 36 stitches. We're going to join to the top of our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Our chain 3 counted as 1, and then we place 2 in the next one, so we have 3 double crochets. Then we'll front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. And so our repeat is 1 double crochet in the next double crochet and 2 double crochets in the next, and that will give us 3 of those double crochets right there together. 1 and 2. And then front post around the front post double crochet. And we'll repeat this, working all the way around. 1 double crochet in the double crochet, 2 double crochets in the next double crochet, and then front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. And that's our repeat for row 4. 1 double crochet in the first, 2 double crochets in the second double crochet, and then front post in the front post double crochet, working all the way around, and again joining back to our chain 3. Only don't chain 3 this time, only chain 1 after you join. I've completed row 4, and you're going to have 36 of your regular double crochets, and you're going to have 12 of your front post double crochets, and so that's going to give you 48 stitches around. Now I know this seems a little bit big, but I have very small hands, and so it measures approximately 5 inches across, just so that you know the size. What we're going to do for row 5 is we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of those stitches around. That's why we only chained 1. So we'll go right in that stitch and stitch a single crochet. Go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through both loops. And this is going to give us a nice edge, just so that it holds its shape when we're using it. And just as it is without the back handle, it's a really nice scrubby. It has those front post double crochets to give it some scrubby power. And if you use the scrub off yarn, you also have some more extra scrubby as well. And I really love it with the scrub off yarn. It's just really difficult for you to see your stitches on camera. And something to remember when you are using that scrub off yarn, or even if you're just using a scrubby yarn, which would work as well, just make sure that you stitch just a smidge loose so that you can find your stitches. And of course, take your time. Alright, so now I'm just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I'm going to join back to my single crochet, and then I'll show you how to add that handle on the back. I've completed this row of single crochets around, and you're going to have 48 single crochets. We're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're going to form that handle for the back of our scrubby. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in 5 stitches, because we want 5 half double crochets. So there's 1, yarn over, go in the single crochet and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 of those loops. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Then we'll place 1/2 double crochet in each of those 5 stitches. The chain 1 here does not count as a stitch. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1/2 double crochet. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Getting that first one there. Chain 1 and turn. And so now what we're going to do in order to form this handle is we're going to repeat this row, 1/2 double crochet in each of those 5, chain 1, turn, and we're going to repeat that for 9 more rows, which will give us 11 rows for the handle. Chain 1, 1/2 double crochet in each of those 1/2 double crochets across, chain 1, turn for 9 more rows, or until you have 11 rows of 1/2 double crochets for the handle. I've completed my 11 rows for the handle. Here's my scrubby. This is the front. We're going to turn it over to the back, and we're going to just line that up across the back of our scrubby. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch this end of our handle to the scrubby itself. So we'll go right in that first stitch here. Whoops, there we go. And where we've lined it up here, pull the loop through, then pull that loop through the loop on your hook and snug that down. And we'll have 5 of those because we have 5 1/2 double crochet stitches. Go through this side and stitch a slip stitch. 4, and here's our last one. All right, now we're going to go ahead and cut our yarn. And before I weave that in, I'm going to go ahead and tie that off. And then I want you to see the front. You are going to have this edge a little bit that pulls, don't worry. And this, of course, will weave in. But this is the way it looks on the front. You've got all those front post stitches for your scrubbing needs. All right, now, one thing I learned when using cotton yarn, in order to thread the needle, if I open up the end a little bit and flatten that out, it makes it a lot easier to get that cotton yarn in that needle. There we go. Now I like to open this up and go through here again to weave this in because I want that bump to kind of disappear. And one thing also is I don't want this to come undone when I'm scrubbing really hard on something that's really baked on a skillet or something. And I don't know about you, but I always scrub everything before I put it in the dishwasher. All right, so I'm just going to weave this in underneath here. Make sure it's going to stay put. And one really nice thing is we don't have to come back in and weave the center in because we took care of that at the beginning. But if you didn't, you can do it at the end as well. I just like getting it over with. All right. Clip our yarn. And now we have a brand new scrubby to scrub our dishes with. Another thing to remember is if you toss these in the wash and you're using 100% cotton, you are going to get it to shrink down just a little bit. And this one has been through the wash a few times, and you can see it is a little bit smaller. So keep that in mind. And also, if this is too big and you want to tighten up your stitches, you can go down to an H hook as well. Instead of using the eye, you can go to an H hook, and that will bring it down as well. All right, so just some things to keep in mind. And then also, here's our scrubbies with the Scrub Off yarn, and I really love this. Is my favorite one because I started with it in the middle with the Scrub Off yarn, and the Scrubby is in the middle. Now, if you don't have any of this Peaches and Cream Scrub Off, you can use your regular Scrubby yarns and begin for the first couple rows, and then switch to a cotton that you have on hand. And so there are lots of different ways to make a Scrub Off kitchen scrubber.